Hello everybody. Here we are. It is just a couple of days to go until... we're here. Well, that's not meant to happen. Hang on, how do I mute this? It is just a couple of days to go until... Don't want that to happen. How's that happen? There we go. Oh god, this is going to echo bad. Hang on, how do I... This is going to echo really bad. Right, silence for a sec. I think that's fixed it. I hope that's fixed it. Right, that was a great start. Right, so we're here. I really need to check the audio now. I'm scared to check it. But yeah, here we go. So hello everybody, how are you all doing? So Morgan's here saying, doing my German summative, listening to this. Commitment to the channel is strong. Thank you, Morgan. Well, good luck as well. Who have we got in the chat? So we've got Google's here again saying W stream. Absolutely. We've got our title should be Was Lewis Lucky? Well, we'll see. We'll talk about that as well. We've got a lot to talk about because we're still going to do some talk about what went on last weekend because it's a little bit chaotic. Believe it or not, there's quite a bit to talk about actually. What have we got as well? Yo, hello, Eamon. Aman, how are you doing? How are you doing? George King saying this music is a vibe. Mario vibes. Yeah, absolutely. I should do Mario Kart theme music intros for each of these. What are we seeing? So how are we doing, lads? From Sohan. Agent as well. Welcome to the F1 Crash Weekend build-up. Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of debate about that and what's going to go on this weekend. And I'm sure we'll get onto all of this as well. So welcome, everyone, to the RaceBeacon midweek show. As I said before, we are heading now right into the final race of the season and the two championship contenders even on points. So this is, I think, going to be as dramatic as you would expect. Oh, we've got title, yeah. So what's everyone think of the thumbnail as well? Does everyone like the thumbnail? It's the most effort I've put into a thumbnail. I feel like the championship is deserving of it. Right, I'm trying to make sure everything's open. There we go. I'll get it. Let me quickly tweet the stream out as well, and then we'll be properly underway and good to go. Right, let me just copy that. There we go. And I'm going to quickly hop on Twitter. So yeah, just quickly while I'm doing this, everyone just sort of put what you want to talk about. Any comments you have from the last race in the chat. Just quickly while I tweet this out, and then we'll get on to all of our discussion today because we've got quite a bit to talk about actually. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff regarding the actual track this weekend. It's changed quite a considerable amount from last year, and we're going to take a quick run through it. So Aman saying last race for Bottas in Mercedes, last race for George in Williams, race F1 race. Oh yeah, last F1 race for Kimi and Antonio. Yeah, it's gonna be so sad to lose Kimi from the grid. I'm so young that his F1 career is older than me. So, and I'm still 19. So that's a testament to Kimi's career, I think. Let me get tweeted out. Live. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Live tweeting. Live for the. Oh, I can't type. Live for the midweek show. There you go. Come watch it. See, it's a threat. That gets more people to watch. There's a pro gamer tip for you if you want to be a famous streamer. So here we go. We see Brendan Connellan in the chat as well, saying, "Could you go through the whole Saudi race and replace Michael Massey in the studio for yourself?" And tell us what you should have done with every situation. I'm actually really happy that you've said that because I was going to make that video. And now I know that someone else wants to see that. I'm 100% going to do it. Because I was thinking about doing that and that being a Monday upload. And I might make it a regular thing, going through all of the stewards' decisions over a weekend and say what I would have or what should have been done differently. And sort of analyse where they were right and wrong. Yeah, I really wanted to. I'm happy to see that someone else would actually want that. So Sohan saying now after this we see both Britishers in the same team next season. Yes, Lewis and George line up together. It was going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see which one of them come out on top. Brendan saying, of course you want to see it. Well, I do anyway. And Sohan as well. Okay, cool. That's the thing that people are interested in. I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely make something like that. What We've got Vishvajit in the chat saying, the Abu Dhabi track favours which team do you think? Well, on the face of it, I'm going to say Mercedes, but we said the same thing about Saudi Arabia, and that ended up being a lot closer than we thought. I think overall they'll probably be quite even, but we're going to give a full run through of the tracks. Obviously on the screen at the moment you can see it's slightly different to last year, isn't it? They have changed quite a few of the corners, and we're going to actually have a visual run through of most of these, plus we also have a hot lap to bring you as well. So Uram saying, what is your opinion on the track changes? I'd say pretty positive. Like I said, we'll get onto it a little bit more in a minute because we have some like onboard footage and pictures to show as well, and I'll explain why I think we're in for a much better race this time out than we normally expect whenever we head to Yas Marina. Jack Hopper in the chat as well. Hello, hope you're having a good week so far. Do you think Lewis will retire next year if he gets his 8th title this or next? I think he'll retire next season. Maybe go up until 2023 at a push, but I can't see him going any longer than that. He's not going to do what the likes of Kimi and Fernando have done, I don't think. And he doesn't need to either. He has achieved a lot. Let's see the old track. No, I don't think so. Yes, okay, so we'll get onto all of this now. So I'll head over to let me make sure I've got everything that I need open. I don't want to open it on the wrong bit and then it makes no sense. Right, here we go. So I'm doing dual monitors as well today, and this is I didn't realize how much easier it is to do it dual monitor, but I regret having not done it for the last month basically, because this is so much easier. Turn 9 looks like the first hairpin of Jeddah. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? So it's turn 9 the banking at Jeddah, yes. I think it's right here. So, right, this is it. So this is what we've got, the comparative maps between the circuits. So this is 2020, obviously, as you can see there. This is from Albert for Brager. He's a great account to follow for all this sort of stuff. He's got good pictures as well. I think we're using a lot of his tweets today because he's been and done track walk and he's got some good photos to show us. So I thought, why not bring that to everyone? So here, as you can see here, let's start from the beginning of the lap. A very good place to start. So we've got here, it's all pretty similar at the start of the lap. I think there's actually no changes whatsoever. The changes arise when we get to what is the old turn 5. Instead of us having that little chicane there that at the start of the race really just sort of spread the cars out a little bit and then made it single file all through this section of track, and then of course single file and then overtaking down the straight. Instead what we've got is just a clean run up into the new turn 5. It's very wide as well, as you'll see on the hot lap when we show it. Dual monitors heaven, yeah, absolutely is. It absolutely is. Prime Kimi or Prime Alonso? Ooh, I don't know. They were sort of in their prime when I was about 5, so it's quite hard to know. Really, I've only seen season reviews pretty much, and I've seen like some race replays, but I don't feel like I've watched enough to be able to confidently say. But I'd probably go with Alonso over Kimi Prime, but it's Kimi's still very, very good. But yeah, as we head back here, so we've got, of course, this nice now slingshot down the straight. We're going to see drivers going at least 2 wide into the entry here, and then you've got a long run down the straight. You've got DRS, you've got slipstream. It's going to be great. This first sector is fantastic for racing. It's going to be really good. And then there's some slight changes, I think, at turn 6, 7, or turn 8, 9. They've widened it a little bit, and I'll show you the pictures. Basically, there's less aggressive curbs, and it's all just a bit flatter and a bit nicer to drive on. Then, of course, we've got the run all the way down then to what is now turn 9, but used to be turn 11, 12, 13. It's just turn 9. It is just a long, sweeping hairpin now. And that should be pretty entertaining. I'm looking forward to that, absolutely. And then, as you can see, it rejoins the track from about this point here. And then it's just like normal, all through here. It's a little bit more curved, actually, and wider through this section as well. Again, we'll show pictures of that in a minute, just sort of summarising the changes here. And then the last couple of corners are exactly the same. So there's that one. So yeah, really removed chicanes, hotel corners radius increased, and then quick and overtakes, hopefully. Right, so here we go. We've got some actual pictures. So this is the changes in turn 5/567. Obviously, here's it on the map, zoomed in. It's the same map we just showed. But then what we've got, so it's not using any of this area anymore. So just for people who've maybe only seen it before, don't know it from the track map, this is a bit we're missing out. It goes all the way around and then it head back round to the hairpin. Instead, we are just going right over here in this runoff. And I've seen a lot of people suggest that before, actually, and I'm surprised they ever really went with this in the first place. I think it's just to sort of decrease the speeds a little bit. So yeah, here it is. It's a bit wider. It's a lot wider actually. It should be pretty good, and they're going to be approaching a lot heavier speeds. Good. It's going to be sort of medium braking zone here, so there's definitely the possibility for moves, especially later on in the race if you've got more grip and at the start as well. So yeah, there's that part of the track. I've got to say this is probably the best change on the calendar, or on the track, sorry, because this bit here, it's so tight and there's so many different apexes. It just sort of sprung out the field a little bit off the start, and it I don't know, just sort of ruined it a little bit. But now you're going to have drivers arriving too wide into here, and then they're going to carry it on all the way down the straight. So I'm really looking forward to this part. They've done a great job here. We're seeing chat. So at RaceBeacon, do you think the Mercedes engine is wearing out from the past 5 races, since they've changed the engine many times this year? Will that provide an advantage to Red Bull? Well, I'd be surprised if Red Bull were the quicker car on straight. Their fundamental design is a lot more higher downforce than we see on the Mercedes, so I'd be surprised if they're all of a sudden quicker. They should be quicker through the corners, but there's not a lot of them now. It's still, I'd say this is probably more downforce dependent than Jeddah was at parts, but it's not as much as it was last year. So the new track is basically quicker than the last one. Yes, it is. Yes, it absolutely is. It's a lot more like Jeddah in that sense, actually. Hamilton has an engine that's only done 2 races. Yeah, and we saw as well in Jeddah, if you were looking at the sector splits when he was following, obviously Slipstream helped, but he was gaining a tenth and a half each sector split. So, that engine has still got the life in it. Jack saying, do you reckon Red Bull will turn their engines up to the max? I imagine so. I can only imagine so. Honestly, I think both Mercedes and Red Bull are going to be running as high as they can get away with here, because this is the most important race for either of them for years now. So they're going to give it a proper go. Let's head on to the next part of the track as well. So this is turn 17 and turn 20. So what was previously this part of the track, a couple of extra apexes in there, and then all the way to turn 20, is now turns 12, 13, 14, and 15. So let's see the changes going on here. So this is right at the end. So this is through this part of the track here. You've got, it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's a lot smoother now. It's a lot nicer. You've got a much less aggressive curb than from last year. So it's going to be a lot better to run over, carry a bit more speed through the corner as well. Then we've also got, this is right, is this even on the map he just put? I think that even is on the map. 15. Okay, I'm lost to where we are on that map. But anyway, so this is as we're just entering Sector 3, basically. This is the bit, then you go that way, and then right again, and you're across the line over here. So that's where we are on the track. Basically, the wall's been moved a bit closer. There's no curb right there, so you're going to be able to run right up to the wall. We could see someone maybe clipping it, so you could be as close to the wall on entry and as close as you can be on exit as well. So there's actually not a lot of difference there in the risk, but it's going to be higher speed for sure, which should allow the cars to hopefully follow a little bit better, because they can take it's a much wider line they can take. They're not suffering as much with the dirty air. So what we've seen back in the chat, Red Bull makes you weave. I don't think Red Bull will. They were already worried about needing to take a new one for Max at this race. They wouldn't want an engine failure to be the reason for his loss. No, absolutely not. Neither will Honda. That's what I mean. They're going to go with whatever is in the safe limit. They're going to go as high as they can run without the threat of them blowing up, basically. So, Hamilton deserves to win championship, strictly given his activism for Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ. It took 3 years for Michael Schumacher to get his first championship. Do you feel the same with Mick? I don't know. I haven't seen it with Mick yet to really feel confident that he's going to be a champion. When we've got the likes of Verstappen, Leclerc, even Norris, Russell, Sainz on the grid, I can't see him being better than them, really, from what I've seen of him so far. Happy for him to prove me wrong, but what was this? My prediction on the race was early for that, but we'll get in. I mean, look, on the face of it, it's got a Mercedes advantage. It's a lot quicker than last year, so look, on the face of it, it should be Mercedes. But like I say, we said that for Jeddah. Who knows? I'm making the early call. George Russell 6-3 for champion in 2022 from Anthony. Very bold call, indeed. Assuming that Mercedes are able to build a very good car next year, and there's no reason to doubt that, I don't think. Max's body language tells you all you need to know. It's game over for Red Bull. Yeah, and then also it's a bit wider on entry here. So I've got to say the changes on this track are really good. I'm really happy with the changes they've done here. And now we have a video as well. So we've got this video that we'll show too. So this is going to be going over the track changes. So Sector 1 is all exactly the same as it has been before. Here's where the differences arise. So normally, around this curb, you are braking for this left-hander just over here. So you're slamming on the brakes, trying to take as much edge of curb as possible and all around. Now, you're not braking right until the curb. Probably on the F1 cars, you're not going to be braking until about there-ish. I don't think you're going to be slamming on the brakes, maybe just about the 50-metre board, because it's quite a quick corner as well. You're able to take it. So look at this. It's so much wider. You can easily go 2-3 wide here. It's going to probably squeeze to 2 wide on the exit, though, unless someone really hugs the inside. Then this bit's exactly the same as normal. And then we head, obviously because it's a straight, and then we head through this part of the track as well. I don't think it's changed too much, slightly less aggressive curb maybe, but for the most part all the same. Let's quickly mute that because it's annoying. Then we headed to the next part of the track as well. So here we go, this part of the track is completely different as well. This used to lead onto a chicane past the entry of the corner here, so this is completely different. Here we go, so you're normally braking yet just a little bit further back. Pull it. Now you want to take quite an early turn in. You've got a good front end on these cars though, compared to obviously the Yas Marina car they're driving around. Yeah, so that's completely different straight away there. It's miles away from what it used to be. And then we've got a less aggressive curb here as well. That was normally a really aggressive large orange curb on the inside there that I showed a second ago. There we go, so it's a little bit nicer. And then here we go. This bit of the track I think is a little bit wider as well. It does, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit wider on the entry at least. So maybe some scope to sling it around the outside, get a good slingshot then as you come into the final 2 corners. So yeah, overall I think the changes are pretty good. They've done a pretty good job here, and I know it was all based on simulations as well. So hopefully they've got all that right. It seems like they have. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. What was it? So can someone be honest with me, please? Is Mick actually good, or is the name backing him? I don't think anyone really knows. I don't think he'll be a champion, but he can be all right. Definitely, he can still have a good career. And if he has the right car, who knows? Who knows? Like if that Haas is the best car next year by miles, he should beat Mazepin with ease. So you never know. Is Max taking engine penalty? I don't think he's taking engine penalty. There's nothing to suggest that he would be at the moment. It would be a massive risk with them even on points. I think maybe if he won in Jeddah, they'd have thought about it because they'd have only needed a couple of points to really guarantee it. So, I don't know. He shouldn't though. I don't think there's a real need for it. Honda seem pretty certain that the engine should live on. I reckon Red Bull will drop off next year by not focusing enough on the newer eggs and instead this year. Actually, I think Christian Horner sort of addressed that a little bit, saying like, well, look, this is our best chance for a championship for ages. We're going to invest in it. And, you know, I feel like if they don't get the championship this year, they actually might struggle. Who knows? But Adrian Newey's had plenty of time and plenty of resources to invest in that car. And he is nothing short of a genius. I'm sure he'll work something out. As Red Bull have consistently had a brilliant strategy. It's more been engine letting them down for the last few years. And now they're slightly more competitive with the current Honda package. What we're seeing as well. Lewis has bigger skill set and better reactions. More experience plus more intelligence. It's totally game over. So Selvin very much confident of a Lewis Hamilton World Championship there. Do you reckon second to last corner could be flat out? I'm going to have to watch it again. Maybe a slight lift. If it was a little bit wider, if it was a little bit wider and the curves are further back on the exit, I think there'd be a decent chance. But yeah, I think you're looking at a slight lift there. If Max takes an engine, I'd say 100% Lewis will too. I don't know. I don't think there's a need to for them. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what state that Mercedes engine is in now. That is data they absolutely will not give away anytime soon. Max only got 2 moves when fighting car to car. the dive bomb or to crash. Well, he was definitely leaving it all out there on track in Saudi, wasn't he? Apparently, if Lewis gets one more reprimand aside for practice in practical quali, he'll get a 10-place grid penalty. Yes, that is correct, and I had copied and pasted that, and I was going to mention that earlier, but you've beaten me to it. Yes, so if Lewis picks up another reprimand, it will be a 10-place grid drop. So, queuing, qualifying, Max putting in a good banker, then spinning at the final corner with Lewis right behind him in a hope. In a hope that it will lead to Lewis not slowing down, but... So Morgan's saying, will we see Merc and Red Bull turn their engines up and maybe run themselves into trouble reliability-wise? Well, it's definitely the potential for it. There's no doubt. Because I think they'll try to run it to the maximum of the potential that they believe is still there and the upper bounds of what they think is going to be safe. But they're not going to give a lot of leeway. And if they're just slightly wrong, it could be game over for either of them. But I definitely think they're going to give it a go. Definitely. What else have we got in the chat? How long would Max stay with Red Bull if they don't produce a good car for next generation? I think I sort of mentioned that last stream. I don't know, thinking about it, maybe 2 years, I think. Maybe 3 years at a push. If they're really not competitive and it doesn't look like they're going to improve the next year, I can't see them holding him, at least. Track changes are ridiculous, ridiculously unlucky. By removing chicanes in Abu Dhabi, they increase straights, which is advantageous for Mercedes. Obviously, no, it wasn't done for them. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've got to say, if you are a Red Bull fan, you would be slightly upset by these track changes, but it was all done in the idea of promoting overtaking rather than trying to advantage a team. Obviously, Red Bull don't get the same power boost as Mercedes when taking new engines, so it won't happen. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Martin. Absolutely right. Did Mercedes actually use the Brazil engine on Hamilton's car in Jeddah? He wasn't as quick as projected. No, they did. They did. And he was pretty quick on the straights. He was pretty quick on the straights, and he struggled through Sector 1. I don't know why as well. The commentators kept saying, oh, he's really struggling through Sector 1 because the Red Bull's so strong there, so he's losing 8/10 each time. It's like, no, it's because of the dirty air. I don't know. I don't know why. The commentators seem so hesitant to call out how bad these regulations are for following through corners. It's so weird. Even though it plays like the most important part in the race, they just never mention it. Really weird. Obviously, they've been told not to. They know that, but that really annoyed me when they're saying, oh, Lewis was 8/10 down in Sector 1. That's because Red Bull's strong there and the Mercedes isn't. It's like, no, it's because he's following a car right in front. That annoyed me. That really annoyed me. What was this? Well, so it looks like Merck already planned for engine problems. They kept giving Bottas a new till they got rid of all the problems, and then Lewis Hamilton got his spicy engine. Well, yeah, I don't know if they were giving Valtteri same spec engines or maybe slight differences to try to reduce the wear and increase performance. They were just sort of testing it out. Don't know really. Don't know. Valtteri was a scapegoat. That'd be a fun theory actually. Quite like that one. And it's maybe why Valtteri's a bit more happy to joke about it on Instagram. You know. If he knows he's doing it for like a greater cause, he's more happy to sort of joke about it because he's not too fussed. Who knows? Who knows? Jack saying, I can't imagine Max in a different team. No, I have that every time a driver moves. I can never imagine him in different colours. But, you know, after a couple of races, you get it. After a couple of races, you do get used to it. But it's still weird. It's still really weird. At RaceBeacon, I believe Max is very much in demand, and if Red Bull is not giving him a high-performance car, he will move to another team for sure. Yeah, he's going to be a front-running driver for the rest of his career, you'd imagine. But equally, you just said that about Alonso years ago, and, well, it hasn't turned out great, so you never know. Never know. He's either going to go on to do great things or very much have an Alonso-esque career, where he maybe deserved a little bit more, but didn't quite have the car for it, wasn't in the right academies, and so on, so... Maybe he was just struggling with tyre temperatures. VB has been... Well, I mean, yes, he would have been as well. But again, that's more because of the dirty air as well. You're getting less air on the tyres and things like that. It was so annoying with the commentators doing that. I didn't like that. So Self was saying, imagine trying to crash into the goat. What a bizarre world we live in. Make it make sense that you have to be drive like Dick Dastardly from Raggy Racers to win the pinnacle of motorsport. That's one of my favourite comments that we've had. Looking at, I want someone to animate that now. If anyone's watching who can animate, hit me up. What we see as well. Looking at Max's last quali lap in Jeddah with the crash with him being 3/10 quicker. Do you still think Mercedes will be quicker here? Who knows? Really, really, who knows? It's a real tough one. And I'm not particularly confident because I was really certain that Mercedes were going to be comfortably quicker in Jeddah. And I mean, they sort of were in race trim, but in qualifying, Red Bull, I don't know whether they just set up for qualifying knowing that was their only hope, but that was really something Max was doing until he put it in the wall. So, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to drivers. It's going to be pretty even. We're maybe talking a 10th or 2 between the cars at Max, which is, obviously you can overcome by having a good lap. Top 3 drivers on the grid at the moment. So you mean top 3 drivers for the race or on the grid at the moment? Also, I'm running lower latency for this stream, so I should be able to do like back and forth between the chat a bit quicker. I don't know if it's affecting stream quality or anything. If anyone sort of like has noticed any issues with me using it, or I don't know. Tiffany Doyle had a good take on Max. He didn't spend long enough in junior series, and so didn't leave the dirty karting moves behind him. No, I sort of mentioned in the other stream. This is his first major championship fight. He's never been in a Formula 2, Formula 3 championship battle, and I don't know, to have your first experience of that being in Formula 1 is against potentially statistically one of the greatest drivers of all time. It's a lot of pressure there, and I don't know. I feel like his actual driving in Jeddah was like it wasn't horrendous, but as watching it, knowing he's a championship contender, you wouldn't know that watching the race. He was very much driving like, no, I'm just gonna be ahead of you no matter what sort of mentality. And I don't know if he crashed out of that race. If he dived up the inside of Lewis at turn 1, and let's say Ocon turned in a little bit earlier, squeezed, and he could have lost his rear right tyre. It's things like that you don't see championship contenders normally taking risks like that. So I don't know. I mean, obviously you can I'm not saying it's right or wrong to do that. I'm just saying you normally don't see that. So it's not a criticism. I'm just saying it's you don't normally see people do it. Do I think it's all set up? The track, yes, or scripted the championship. Tiff hates Max with passion. No, stream's fine. Okay, cool. I'll probably stick to this latency more often then, if that's the case. In quality, you can use DRS every corner though, right? No, not every corner. I'll take it to the track map. So you've got. Actually, I'll head back here. This is a better way to show it. So your DRS activation points are here and here on this straight. So that's where your DRS is. Oh wow, the stream's a lot closer to me than normal. I've just actually seen because I'm dual monitoring it. We're really professional now. So yeah, that's cool. I like that. It's so much easier to stream like this. There's a lot more stuff going on, so I'll need time to get used to it. But once I sort of get more efficient at it, it'll be very useful. What we see as well, Be Real, he got the Red Bull drive because he's a son of a former driver. I don't know, he was very much a really quick driver. He was a very promising driver. I think they just wanted to snap him up as quickly as possible before someone else did. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing when he has a weaker car. Others never can do what Max can do. At RaceBeacon, I assume Perez will have to up his game and support Max like how Alonso did for Ocon in Hungary. It will give Max and Red Bull a better chance for the championship. Yeah, it will. Checo needs a better race. There's no doubt about that. And going forward, if he wants to be in that car for longer than one more year, he absolutely needs to up his game next year. Obviously, that car, I believe that car's more designed for Max's driving style because that's a good strategy to go for. You want to tailor to your best driver's style. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, Checo's just sort of got to try to take the setup a different direction with him, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do next year. Hopefully Checo is slightly more successful this year because I really do want to see him do well. Formula 1 drivers are allowed to face DRS and the cars at any point during qualifying, I'm sure. No, that used to be the case. It did used to be the case. I wish it still was the case because it would reward risky moves in qualifying and things like that. But I was seeing as well. Do you think that Max is starting to falter because of the pressure? I don't think it's pressure. I think maybe elements of frustration, just wanting to do well, but I don't think it's necessarily a pressure sort of thing. I don't know. He seems pretty calm as well. He's still, playing games with people through the week, and I don't know. He seems very happy, but it's sort of hard to tell their mentality sometimes. What are my thoughts on the Leclerc-Sainz pairing this year? I think it's probably one of the most strong pairings on the grid, to be honest. They make too many mistakes between them, though. That's something I will say. Sainz and Leclerc between them do crash too much, which would hinder them in a championship battle, no doubt. But they're both very quick drivers. Do you think since Max won last year here, he has a higher chance to win? No, the track's just so different. It's so different this year than what we've seen in the past. Let me head. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just so much different to what we've seen in previous years. We can't really go on past performance. Whereas there's the comparison. So look how many corners are different. You've missed this whole complex that would normally suit Red Bull. You're missing this complex. It's changed slightly. That's not going to make much of a difference at all. The top complex would normally help Red Bull as well. So, it should theoretically be harder for them. But, again, like you say, they won last year. So they definitely have the pace. Morgan saying, ideal grid for championship interest on Sunday. Keep it semi-realistic. Don't put Nikita on pole. What's unrealistic about that, Morgan? I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. I want them 1-2, drive off into the distance, and then just have a mega battle. That would be the ideal situation. That'd be perfect. And then hopefully they don't crash. Or hopefully they do, because I reckon I could gain a couple of hundred extra subscribers doing that with streams. It's good for the stream, and good for the drama, but I think for the sake of the sport, we probably don't want that, because there'll be a lot of fighting. It'll be for hours and days in the stewards probably afterwards debating it, because it is the decision that would decide the championship. So I don't know, if anything does go to stewards over all of this, I can see it taking a very long time to sort out. I want Kimi on podium so bad, but I don't think it will happen. Right, I'll also say I haven't voted for Driver of the Day once this season, but I am 100% voting for Kimi, even if he's upside down at turn 2. I don't even care. I'm voting for Kimi. Let's vote Kimi for Driver of the Day. Yeah, there we go. Vish Heat's got the idea. Absolutely. I think most people will vote for Kimi for Driver of the Day. I 100% will be. Vote Kimi Driver of the Day. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, everyone's got the idea. Everyone's got it. Morgan's got the hashtag going as well. I tell you what, next time we've got a stream with like 1,000 people watching, we should start a fun hashtag. I'll try to get it trending on Twitter. I don't want them 1-2. Max is too dangerous wheel to wheel. I feel like he should be warned pre-race. Yeah, you see, I'm in a situation where I don't care who wins the championship, so I want them near each other. But obviously, if you're a Max fan, you're going to want them nowhere near each other. And if you're a Lewis fan, you're going to want them nowhere near each other. I can't wait for this weekend. It's gonna be. I'm so hyped for it. I've actually put effort into a thumbnail. That's how you know I'm hyped about it. Also, as it turns out, editing 2 Formula 1 cars into PNG format is a bit harder than you'd have thought. It took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but I think Red Bull should have gone for Valtteri Bottas next year because he was underrated Mercedes and he's potential champion. I don't think he's potential champion. I don't think he's consistent enough in the races and not clinical enough to get moves done when he gets stuck in the midfield. But he's definitely, I'd say, probably like one of the best sidekicks on the grid. Absolutely. And a Verstappen Bottas lineup isn't bad. That's not a bad lineup. But also, I assume that there is no world where Mercedes would have let Valtteri go to Red Bull. They'd have just kept him for another year rather than doing that. They just flat out refused to let him go. I love the mind games Lewis got Max playing drafts when Lewis is at his end of the board getting checkmated. I hope Max keeps his mind calm and composed. Yeah, of course. It's going to be a thing of, this is new ground for Max. Max has never come into a race. a last race of the season where it could go either way and he could be champion. He's never had that before. Lewis, he's had a few of those, I think, just a few. So yeah, he maybe could perform a little bit better under pressure, but who knows? Who knows? I want the winner of the race to. I want the winner of the race to win. That'll make it exciting, but I don't want anyone to win because of a dirty move. No, absolutely not. That's the thing. We don't want it decided in the stewards, really. As good as it'd be for the channel, I don't want it to be. Cue a 6-hour stream after the race waiting for the stewards' decisions. I can't do that. What else we've got? Remember, if Lewis messes up, Max will win the championship by wins. Yeah, of course. If it does end up with them crashing, Max wins the championship on count back. Which, again, would be very, very dramatic as well. I assume if Checo crashes into Hamilton, and I assume this will be discussion that's already gone on between the teams and bosses, if there is a crash that is deemed a little bit suspicious and it's investigated and probably on balance there's evidence to suggest it was on purpose, there will be a points penalty. I can, it's not really precedent for it and it's not really in the rules, but they probably will have just had the discussion with the bosses and said, look, if something like this happens, we will penalise the person who's at fault and the other one will win the championship, because that's, if Perez spears Hamilton into turn 1, that's, Max doesn't. Well, no, Max would still deserve championship, but the team should definitely lose out. At least in the constructors, maybe, or something. They should be banned, something along those lines. I don't know how it would go. I really don't know. But I feel like there'd be a discussion along those lines. Do you think with Max's driving standard this year, there is going to be a big change to the rules governing wheel-to-wheel racing or changes? I think the whole thing really needs to be reformed and looked at again. But that's because we've got cars that are going quicker than they ever have before. They're racing in a different way to how they've used to. They've got more runoff than they used to. There's a lot of difference. I don't know, and it depends how the next cars are going to work as well. I don't know. I do feel like a lot of rules need changing, though. There's a lot that needs changing in the sport, just to sort of keep up. It's kind of funny watching Max try everything under the sun and still lose. It's an interesting case study into mental health. Right. What else have we got as well? I think Bottas is a really consistent driver, but he's absolutely terrible in climbing through the field. Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's a very consistent driver. I've said that in previous streams. He has the ability to put in some really good performances, but sometimes it just goes wrong. It just goes a little bit wrong. He can't quite get through the field, like you say, and he hasn't got that clinical move that you really do need. And I think that's why he would never be a champion, just because of that, really. A massive thank you to 44 Lou Ham as well for the £5 donation. That's absolutely mega. Thank you for that. Well, obviously as well, Lewis for the win. Will Horner's Silverstone prediction come true? What, the 8-time champion Hamilton, or that he accidentally said? That was quite funny. On Sunday, I felt I was watching Real Housewives of Formula 1. Didn't we all? You guys sure are delusional. He has so many drives through the fields. Do you think the changes to track favour Mercedes, and how much? Look, if we look right, we'll go over this again. So we've got obviously start of the lap. Nothing really changes here. This part of the track, it's taking away a real tight technical section. Normally, that benefits Red Bull, those sections of track. So that's not there anymore. So theoretically, Mercedes gain. Then through this corner as well. It's a pretty quick corner. I think overall, I don't know. This is either a bit of a Mercedes gain or a Red Bull gain. It's going to be marginal either way, and it really depends on what the low speed performances are. And we don't have exact data on that, so it's impossible to tell. I'd say there's a real chance, though, that with the fast corners, it could actually be a Red Bull gain. But would it be a slight less of a gain than this tight, technical, twisty part that we had before? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. This part of track is slightly different. It just makes it a bit more of a sweeping corner, a little bit nicer. I'd say on balance, it's a slight gain for Mercedes, but it's not massive. It's not the biggest change. However, it's going to be a much quicker race overall. It's going to be a lot shorter as well. I think a couple of extra laps though. What's this one? Max for the win. On Sunday, I felt like I was watching... Oh, yeah, I've read that one. There's very precedent that if you win because of a dirty tactic that you then thrown out the whole championship. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Schumacher got thrown out before. Yes, he did, yes. But yeah, nothing really in modern times with the modern race stewards and so on. Bottas doesn't have that killer instinct. Yeah, I think that's about right. He and like it's also I would say as well that he has done drives through field before. Yeah, he absolutely has. But how many times has he been stuck behind a Daniel Ricciardo, a Lando Norris, and just a Ferrari, and just not been able to get the move done where, let's say, Max or Lewis otherwise would have? He's capable of driving through the field, but it takes a lot longer, and he maybe needs a more element of strategy to do it than the others do. What is it? Just echoing what you've heard before. Someone bring nappies, diapers, towels, mops, and buckets. How many laps? It has increased. I'll check the lap count for you. I'm not entirely sure. I know it's changed. I did read it a couple of days ago. Let me quickly check for you. It's a few more. It's a few more than it was last year, but the exact number I will have to check. Circuit stats. It's now a 58 lap race, so yeah, like I say, a little bit longer than before. And thank you to all of the new subscribers as well. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Alright, so we'll head back here. What we see as well. I've heard rumours that Jean Todt might return to Ferrari. Yes, I saw those rumours as well. Pretty interesting, get all the inside information at the FIA and then come back to Ferrari. No, I'm joking. Well, he will have that information though, but I don't think that was why he did it. Wait, on Sunday, how did Leclerc not get a penalty for having his car changed? Was it not significant that it needed a new gearbox? Leclerc. Oh, well, his was in practice, wasn't it? So parc fermé conditions weren't in place, so he would have been allowed to change parts of it. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, 3 more laps, yeah. RaceBeacon, I believe engine makers like Porsche and Lambo can make an entry into F1 and remove cars like Haas. What do you think? Yeah, I can't get too excited about them entering into sport if it's not a new team with new, increasing the amount of cars on the grid. I'm not that hyped about it. I don't care about the names being in it too much if it's just taking over an existing team. I mean, like it's a slight improvement, but I'm not, gonna dance around singing about it. It's yeah, I don't know. If it was a new team entering with them, then it would be wow. This is amazing. But I don't know. When they're just engine suppliers, I can't really get behind it too much. I feel like Bottas was hated until this year. Now he isn't the second best and doesn't have to fight for the championship, and suddenly he's loved. Yeah, I think a lot of frustration went Bottas's way because he was the only person who could potentially beat Lewis, and he was not close enough to doing it for several years. So, yeah, that basically people got frustrated of, well, just drive quicker, give us a good battle. But yeah, of course that didn't happen, and hasn't this year either. Nearly double Lewis. I think nearly has double Bottas's points, or well, not, maybe like 60% more or so. I think the main difference is it's really good to follow. I can easily see the car behind gain 1.1 to 1.5 seconds through sector 1. Or 1 to 1.5, sorry. And 2, and it might make a bigger difference than favouring a team. Potentially. Give a like, thank you. Yes, give a like. Go for it. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Jay Starship, yes, Sam, thank you. But I thought if you came to the weekend with a new gearbox or engine, you got a penalty, even without parc fermé. It depends what gearbox they're using, because you often have like a Friday gearbox in as well. What Premier League team do I support? Well, so I support in football Nottingham Forest, and they're in the Championship in the second division of English football. I'd say Premier League team, probably Spurs on the basis of I like Harry Kane, but I don't really like Spurs. I just like Harry Kane, so there you go. More you know. Mate, don't create hate someone. So you can support someone. I don't know who that's. I don't even know what's about. I hope it's a great race for whoever wins and nobody gets hurt. Yeah, of course not. Absolutely not. You don't win over 100 F1 races by being soft. Max picked on the wrong driver. Simple as. I know. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Right, we've got some more stuff to look at as well. So we have this from Jenny Gao that I thought was really fun. So let's take a look at the matchups for the press conference. Actually, tomorrow. So we've got Kimi and George, the old and the new, I suppose. Charles Leclerc, Lando. They're battling, of course, for P5 in the standings. Yep. Yuki Tsunoda and Nikita Mazepin. Then Vettel and Schumacher. Then Stroll, Ricciardo. Then Gasly, Alonso. Giovinazzi, Ocon. Sainz, Latifi. Bottas, Perez, and one set. There's 2 drivers left over, isn't there? There's just 2 other drivers. Ah, yes, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. But it doesn't stop there. You'll never guess who's been put together in the in the principals press conference. Mattia Binotto and Masashi Yamamoto, but also Toto Wolff of Mercedes, I think it is, and Christian Horner of Red Bull. That's gonna be a fun one. What have we got here? Oh yeah, we also have the 2022 F1 entry list. I sort of saved this one as well to sort of have a look at, because we know Guan Yu Zhou's number that he's using next year. It is number 24 he's listed as. So if you use that on the F1 games, condolences. You can't anymore. But there you go. There's all of the entries. And who knows whether Max Verstappen will actually be using number 1 next year, as he said if he wins the championship he will be the first driver for years to actually use that number 1. Of course, because Lewis does not. Complete coincidence that Max Ham and Toto Horner are pair. Exactly. It's just a complete coincidence. Who'd have seen that coming? Hey, Brendan's saying, hey, I'm a Spurs fan. Not that I like to go around shouting about it. No. I see. I liked Mourinho as well a lot. So when you had Kane and Mourinho in the same team, I was like, that is brilliant. But no, I'm offended. What have I missed as well in chat? Complete coincidence. Oh yeah, I've read that one. Lewis tip. Max should choose 69. Now number 7 is free again. Doesn't so many want that? Well, no, you have to wait 3 years to be able to use numbers that have been retired, or until that number's retired, and then available again. What was we saying? Hence why Yuki Tsunoda was able to take number 22, because it had been over 3 years since Jensen raced the number 22 in Formula 1. So, yeah, there you go. Morgan's saying, let's say Max wins drivers and Merc wins constructors. Will we see both teams celebrating post-race, or Merc will be completely sad? I don't know. I think it depends in what circumstance they lose it. If it's a really fair fight, they have nothing to complain about. Max genuinely wins, fair fighting. Great race all the way through. I think they'll just be happy to win the constructors. They'll obviously be a bit sad. But like they'll take the constructors win. But yeah, I don't know. I can't see Red Bull winning the constructors from here, honestly. It's going to be a Mercedes constructors win, I imagine. Only question is the drivers, so that makes it more fun. Actually, I prefer it this way, because then now neither of the team, not that it would happen anyway, but neither team's going to prioritise the constructors. I said weaving in all sorts. Fist fight during press conferences to decide the championship. Yeah, exactly. I don't care what team you are on, whether it's Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton. I am team Max Verstappen, but this is an epic title decider. Awesome to think this is the first equal point situation since 1974. It is crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. And I think I predicted that about a month ago, so I was quite happy. They should hire me as a scriptwriter in Formula 1. Not that it's scripted or anything. It's not, but yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. Morgan saying Perez takes out Bottas for the constructors. That would just be funny. I'd feel so sorry for Bottas though, because it's probably his last chance at a top car. So it'd be nice to see him pick up a podium. just as like a goodbye to any form of success in F1, unless that Alpha's an absolute rocket next year. So saying Abu Dhabi final standings is going to be Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, Bottas. So Vishvahit desperately or definitely thinking that it's going to be a strong Red Bull track there. My first season as an F1 fan as well. I've been spoiled greatly. Yeah, A10 Productions, you absolutely have. Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be so many people as well in your situation where this is their first season of Formula 1 and they are being treated to something we do not get every year. So absolutely do not take it for granted. It seems like the Office quote of, you never know you're in the good old days until you've left them. So... You never know. You never know. Hopefully, we have many, many more years to come that are just as exciting, but who knows? You can't take much for granted when you do finally get a good fight. I just like leaving this on screen. It looks better. What's this? Total Wolf provided by Post. Thank you. Yeah, I saw as well. The headphones did actually break. I'm gutted to know that. I didn't want to know that the headphones actually broke. That makes me sad. Heartbreaking Ocon for Jeddah. Heartbreak for Ocon in Jeddah. That's it. That's how English works. Yeah, it was. I really do feel for him. I wasn't a big fan of him. I never really have been, but I've got to say I genuinely did feel sorry for him after that race. Just you wait. 3 years in Alfa Romeo and he's in a Ferrari. Well, potentially, yeah. If he really performs in Alfa. But equally, Ferrari do have some junior drivers coming through that I think they'd rather have. He maybe could be like an interim driver between two drivers if they want to give another junior driver a year in Alpha. But also, I can't see Sainz and Leclerc not being a fairly long-term solution because Sainz is rapid. I can't help but feel he might get treated a little bit dirty by Ferrari in being replaced 1 year despite performing really well by a junior. I don't know. I've got a feeling that 1 year that's going to happen. Maybe not next year, but, a year or two. I think it's a possibility. Lewis just trolling Max, letting him believe he's got a chance, and we all know it comes. All the new fans are going to get disappointed next year. Well, maybe. I don't know. We've hyped up these new regulations quite a lot as well. I think we'll be disappointed too if it's not as good as we're hoping. But, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's going to be good next year. Really do hope so. Red Bull has a major upgrade in Abu Dhabi. I haven't seen that. I'm not sure if that's true. Don't think it is. Unless I've just genuinely missed that. 4 on spin for 44. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So 6, 17, 18, 19, 20. Maybe 5, wouldn't it? 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, 5. Schumacher 2024 Ferrari. Yeah, potentially. It depends what his pace is like, really. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I feel like I said that way too many times in streams, but it's hard to predict the future. It is quite hard. No way Ferrari had some talent in the pool. Sergio Perez has to gain P3 or P2. Love the mind games. Shows you playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. Normally, at new regulation, always one team gets away. So yeah, that's the thing. It's I'd be surprised if there isn't a really quick, somewhat dominant team next year, or someone who's found a loophole, a bit like Brawn, or grey area even. Hopefully not though. Hopefully not. Who am I supporting? I'm indifferent on who's champion. I'd say simply because my dad's a Hamilton fan. I'd go with that, but. Like me, myself, I don't really care. I just want it to be really exciting. I just want a really good race, basically. I'm not too fussed which way it goes. But who am I supporting in general is good old Lando. Followed him since karting, so I have a legal obligation to follow him for his whole F1 career now. Has either Red Bull or Mercedes gained from track changes? I'd say probably just Mercedes, but I don't think it's as much as people are maybe making out. But they've definitely made a gain for it. But look, I don't think it's a massive gain. Free SLT, I don't know. Can I swear on these streams? I don't know. I try to stay away from it. But yes, I agree with your comment. I don't know if that's a reasonable thing to do. I think I'll keep it PG. PG streams, guys. PG streams. I feel like Schumacher is going to be in Ferrari, however fast he is. Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of marketing ability there, but I can't see Ferrari putting him in if he's not quick enough. They're losing too much money for it. Do I play the F1 game? Yes, I do. I am a league racer and commentator. In fact, I have to end this stream before about 7:30 because I have a commentary tonight. So there you go. I deliberately put this stream at 6 o'clock so it stops me from doing about a 2.5 hour broadcast. There is some method to my apparent madness, but not a lot, but there's some. I'm going to go on my Twitter to see if there's been any breaking news while we're on stream, basically. Anything interesting going on? I don't think there's been. I don't think there's a lot going on at the moment. No breaking news. How boring. Disgraceful. Right, here we go, back here. So yeah, actually, for someone who hasn't seen this before, let's go over this lap again, because this shows the changes to the circuit really well. So all of this part's the same, exactly the same, all the way up to here. Normally you'd be braking about, here we go. You're braking just by the entry curb, normally around here for the corners. You turn in, then go round here. But no, this time, you're going to be braking around this curb, around a 50-metre brake board, come into the corner, carry as much speed through, hopefully 2 or 3 wide, and then back onto the straight. A bit of ducking and diving with the slipstream. This part of track, I believe, is unchanged. Maybe the curves are a little bit nicer, but it doesn't seem too changed. Here's a big difference on track now. So normally what's coming up here is a left, and then a little chicane, and then about a 90-degree left again. Let's see what's coming up this time. So we've got a long, sweeping left-hander. This is very, very different. And a lot quicker. A lot quicker. Could benefit Mercedes, could benefit Red Bull, who knows. Fast corners. Red Bull did alright at them in qualifying, at least in Jeddah, so who knows. And then the curb on the entry here is mostly been removed. It's just two little curbs, a bit like the ones we saw at Qatar, but a lot less aggressive by the looks of it. And then at the final corner, at the final part of this here, we've got the wall a lot closer than it used to be. And yes, it's a bit easier to take at a higher speed. It's a lot less of a jolty corner. And then here, I feel like it's a bit more wide on entry. I'm not sure. For me, it feels like it's more wide on entry, but I might just be seeing things. Bit of a oversteer and understeer there. But yeah, there we go. There's a lap of that. So what do people think of the changes? Oh god, chat's been go through. Have Merc compromised next year's car to get Lewis to 8th? Well, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? That's the thing, we don't know how much money the teams have been pouring into development of next year's car, what they've been doing on the side. Neither have really upgraded their car massively in the last few races, at least, so I don't think it'll be a big difference. I don't think it'll be massive. Did you run really through? Okay, good changes. Now they just need to get rid of Sector 3, yeah. Whole track was built for Mercedes? Not necessarily. It was built for racing, and Mercedes tend to do better on tracks that are more race tracks, just by the nature of the car. Does Max Verstappen stream somewhere? If yes, where? I know he streams with some other people. I don't know if he streams it on his account, but I know he hops in for games and his friends stream. I don't know who. Someone in the chat might know. But unfortunately, I don't really watch the driver streams. I used to watch Lando streams a bit, but I don't even do that anymore, really, when he does. Because I'm a better streamer, though. What have we got as well? I hope it's not a game plan. Track seems, to me, more boring. Yeah, but it's a lot less technical, but the racing should be better as a result, so... The lap's more boring to watch by itself, but hopefully in a racing situation it leads to more overtaking and better battles. Does Max Verstappen stream... Oh, I've just read that one. Lewis will win 8th World Title Championship, the holy grail of Formula 1. Oh, sorry, I forgot basically all my punctuation. Mercedes tend to be racing. Max can take out Hamilton if they both get DNF. He wins by default. No. Yes, he would, but I'd assume he's going to get a points deduction or disqualification from the championship if he did that. So maybe I might not want to do that on balance. Where does Lando and Leclerc stream? I know Lando has a Twitch account. And I think he streams with friends as well. So Twitch, if you look for that. If no point reduction, disqualification, yeah. Is Russell going to cause lots of crashes, wanting to prove himself a team next year? I can see him maybe 3 times over the course of the season binning it, just pushing for an extra 10th or so, trying to keep up with what maybe Lewis can do. But that really just depends how well he suits the car and how quickly he can get up to speed. Obviously, hard to tell. I'm going to say it again. We have to wait and see. World War III in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be so exciting. Lewis versus Max and Leclerc versus Norris for 5th. Yeah, as well, we mentioned that battle a little bit. Of course, we do have Lando v Charles for P5 in the championship. I think they're only separated by 2 points at the moment. And Lando should have had that one wrapped up with the likes of Sochi. Probably Brazil as well. He'd picked up more points. Qatar, he was on course for 4th place. And he probably would have ended 6th, 7th if it wasn't for bad luck at Jeddah as well. So not been a great few weeks. A lot of bad luck. Getting stuck behind Checo's car that had spun as well. Putting him right towards the back of the grid for the restart, obviously. Track position will be important for Lewis in Abu Dhabi because we know what extent Max can go. Yeah, but I don't know, potentially does Lewis want to start behind? Yeah, he'll be forced into an overtake. But would he rather be the one overtaking where he can maybe back out a little bit easier, or have Max diving up the inside with no chance of escaping? You know, that, like, if you're looking at it from that point of view, which one would you prefer? I don't know. I'm so looking forward to the schmexy graphics they have planned for whoever wins the title. But like Lewis's 100th win in Sochi. Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted... I want like a cool remix of the Formula 1 theme. Let's add like some bass or something. And instead of having like the red the red like tints that they normally have like gold or something. And in the background of the intro have like the best moments from the season. I want something like that. I think that'd be so cool to have. But I don't think they'll do that. As much as I wish they would. Track position will be important. I've just read that one. Lewis has beaten better drivers with less potent cars. Game over for Max. Who have I got winning? I'm going to say Hamilton. The momentum feels his way. But I don't know. It's really, really could swing either way. Genuinely don't know. But I'd edge slightly more towards Hamilton. Just a little bit. But I don't know. The Cheneys come back as an outro. I'd like to hear it come back. They played it at Silverstone Grand, so everyone sort of sits there like that. Oh, it's the song! So yeah, it's quite fun. Makes you wonder if he would have won in Monza if they'd let him race for those extra points. Yeah, he was quicker in Monza. He probably would have picked up the win as well, so... obviously would have risked the 1-2 though, so... I think it was the right call not to let them race in Monza, but Lando did deserve the win more than Daniel in that sense, but... Daniel still did a great job. That was his best performance of the season. Lewis will win, barring Red Bull dirty tricks. Well, potentially indeed. We'll have to see on that one. I don't know. I just hope they keep it clean. And of course, for people who've just joined, this is the press conference lineup for tomorrow. So if you fancy watching a bit of Sky Sports F1, if you've got it, or whoever shows the press conferences for you. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. So they're paired up together. They'll be pretty chill. I don't think it'll be the most tense one. This one will be a bit more entertaining. Toto and Christian. I think it's very much gloves off already between them. Max and Lewis are keeping the disrespect to on the track. It appears. Then we got the entry list as well for next year. So Guan Yu Zhou using number 24. And Mission Winnow also disappearing from the Ferrari. Where is the Ferrari? Where am I looking? Why can't I find Ferrari? Am I being really stupid? Wait, no. What? Am I blind? Oh, there. Yeah, literally. Oh my god. I can't read. There we go. There. Our press conference is live. No, they are broadcast all in one package on Sky. I've only ever watched them on Sky, so I don't know what it's like elsewhere. I know F1 used to do like highlights, but I don't know if they publish them on their YouTube anymore. But it will be on Sky at some point. It will. You sure Max will be disqualified if he can prove Max crashed intentionally in Abu Dhabi? Yeah, he will be. Yeah, if he's deliberately crashed into another car and it's fixed the championship, he will be disqualified. Or at least disqualify, or at least get a points deduction making him second. It'll be one of the two. And a massive, massive fine as well, if that's the case. Maybe they're changing sponsorship rules. Submission Winnow can't be a sponsor. Yeah, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think there's been any news about that. They've definitely kept it on the hush if that is the case, but not too sure. Are they live on F1 TV? Okay, there you go. There's one. I've only ever watched it on Sky, so. Writing's on the wall and it says L. I'm going to use that one. Just look it up on YouTube on Friday. They're all over YouTube. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and it will also be in written press as well. That's what the press conferences are for the most part. So you'll see like Autosport, Race Fans, and like motorsport.com as well. Places like that. He'll get Perez to take Lewis out. See, the thing is, if Perez deliberately takes Lewis out, I can't see that not being a points deduction for Max either. Even though it's not necessarily Max's fault, if the team have fixed it, they shouldn't reap the benefits. So I reckon that's what the plan will be. Whether you think that's right or not, who knows? But you know, I reckon that's what the race director will sort of say is, if any of you crash each other out, the other one's winning the title, basically. What do you think about Max driving in Saudi? I think if I was the championship leader in that situation, I wouldn't have risked my car as much as he did. But in the end, it turned out fine for him. So if he crashed out the race, then I'd be saying, you know, that was a really stupid thing to do. But he didn't. So, you know, I can't really have too much of a go at it. Perez won't be close to Hamilton. That's a good point as well. Really, how many times this season have we seen Perez that close to Lewis? It would have to be right off the start, and that's assuming he can qualify close enough to Lewis. Because, of course, that wouldn't have been possible in Saudi. As Alonso would say, they cut the chicken on that layout. Yeah, just completely... Yeah, they've actually designed this track for Alonso, just completely missing the chicane. The first chicane. What do you think about Max Drive? I just read that one. Bottas has to crash. It will be the gift for Max, also to Mercedes. It was a bit risky. I heard people saying brake testing is ground for disqualification. Yeah, I think potentially that's where the Max is lucky in the title comes from. I do think that given the stewards basically decided that it was a brake test, he's lucky to only get a 10-second time penalty for that. It could have very easily been a 20, so the equivalent of a drive-through. So a post-race drive-through penalty, basically. It really could have been that, which would have put him fourth and not in a great shape at all. So that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying about him being lucky in the title. I'm just surprised we didn't actually discuss that at all. But yes, that's why it's in the title. Why people talk about Max crashing into Lewis like it's a sure thing. People really got caught up in fake drama. Both drivers respect each other, but are fierce competitors. Well, yeah, there's no guarantee they're going to crash into each other at all. That's the, you know... Perez could wait for Lewis to try and overtake. Yeah, I think if he's a lapped car crashing into him as well, that is an instant. That is at least Red Bull being disqualified from the constructors at very least, which is going to cost them hundreds of millions and a massive fine as well. So, I can't see anything deliberately crashing into each other because it will almost financially ruin the F1 team, but. Bottas needs to bring his A game on Sunday. He absolutely does. He needs to be the peak wingman that he can. What do you think about Max driving in Saudi? Did I just read that one? I think I just read that one. It's not driving through 25s. In his defence, he's also had some unlucky moments. Assuming Max, yeah. Max realistically should have had the championship wrapped up by now. But yeah, he's had unlucky moments this year that's cost him. What do you think about Max drive? Oh, okay, yeah, you're just putting the same comment. Okay, that just confuses me. You can't do that. That's unfair. I'm too stupid. It's not drive through 25. Yeah, it might be 25. I don't know. They haven't done a post-race drive-through for quite some time. It's 20 or 25 seconds, one of the two. That 10-second penalty should have been carried over for this race. I don't think so, because neither are tired. So I think it's perfectly fair to give it out in that race. Much like Hamilton's Silverstone 10-second penalty was fair for it to not be a grid drop for the next race because he carried on. So if a car DNFs and it's their fault, then a grid penalty should be applied. But if you still finish the race, a time penalty should be given. I really used to respect Max. I'm a Lewis fan as a driver, but since he started going all defensive by risking a very obvious crash, I really hope he changes. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if there's more races this year, you're definitely bound to get another crash between them. Yeah. F1 is rigged, boys. We all know that. Does not tell have an A game. What do you think about strategy B for Bottas and Perez? They'll just try to beat each other and try to help wherever possible, but I'm not sure if they're going to be quick enough. We've seen so many times this year, Lewis or Max just be in a complete league of their own, and yeah, they've just been almost untouchable in so many races this year. So. Does Bottas have an A game? He has a game. Whether it's an A game, he has a game. Probably more like a B+ game, something in that region. Max is a driver, not a model in a vehicle. Max is lucky to keep second. If he tries the same antics at last race, it will not go well for him. No, I think it would be a harsher penalty as well if he did anything similar. They'd say, look, you did it last time, we told you off. If you do it again, bigger penalty. That's how it works normally. Bit like cards in football. You get a warning, you do that again, you get a yellow. Do that again, you're off. That sort of system. Do you think FIA went easy on Red Bull and Max in Jeddah? What's the thing with offering deals? They should force penalties and not negotiate with team bosses. Well, actually, the deals thing was one of the few things I agreed with, because normally what happens in a Formula 1 race, if you are deemed to have left the track and gained an advantage, you get the opportunity to give that place back, or it'll be sent to the stewards, basically. That's the, you can either just off it, give the place back, it won't go to the stewards at all, and there's no further investigation as long as you haven't made contact or damaged the car or anything. Or you can stay ahead, risk it going to the stewards, and then risk a time penalty. So the red flag removed that option for Red Bull, so I think it was somewhat fair to give them to. It wasn't really negotiating as well. Like people have sort of gone up on the negotiating thing. It was more like which of these two options do you want? Because that's what the normal options would have been. They're not like changing it in any way. But yeah, that was one of a few things I agreed with. That was definitely one of a few things I agreed with that they did. Do I think they were competent at doing it when they said, would you like P2 when Ocon was in first and Hamilton was third? No, that made absolutely no sense at all. And Michael Massey, yes, he got confused, but equally, at one of the most important points of the race when you're giving the team an offer like that, you can't afford to be confusing. So, yeah, that basically. Rigged championship the past 7 years? I don't think so. I don't think it's been rigged in that sense. You've known who the winner would be because it's a quicker car, but it hasn't been like rigged in that sense. People shouldn't complain about Max being dirty, but instead should put pressure on the FIA to sort the rules out and make things clear. Yeah, I think the emphasis should be more on the FIA saying to Max or any driver on the grid that's a bit more aggressive, say, look, you can't do that, and they'll stop doing it. If you tell them they can't do it, they'll stop doing it. Max only does it because at the moment he can get away with it, and if he doesn't get told off for doing it, it benefits him. Why would he stop? You wouldn't stop, would you? So, yeah, emphasis is all on the FIA. It's up to them to make the decisions like that and try to enforce them. So, if Red Bull said no to Michael request, what would have happened? So it would have gone to the stewards, and it likely would have been a 5-second penalty, I'd imagine, because it was quite a clear cut, leaving a track and gaining an advantage. Which is why Red Bull chose to take P3. because they probably watched the footage back and went, yeah, you know what, I'm probably going to get a penalty for that. Let's just take the hit, go third. We've got better tyres off the start, try to make the place back. Hello, Game Roll, David. How you doing? It's all rigged to go to the final. I don't think so. I don't think it's rigged in that sense. Things have gone a certain way in the races that have led to it, for sure. But I don't think it was rigged. And the FIA obviously would have wanted it from a marketing point of view of F1 media. But I don't think it was rigged to go this way. I think Max also just seems to have a lot of yes man around him, Marco and Horner maybe, which doesn't really allow him to improve or tweak his. Yeah, potentially as well. They support their driver. And we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Maybe they do say to him, look, why did you do that? Or maybe they just sort of go along with it and say, yeah, that was bad or whatever, when maybe it was avoidable. Something along those lines. Who knows? We don't know what goes on behind the scenes on that one, so. Red Bull on a new Ferrari thinking they can get away with anything and they do it on track. Like take other teams out. I wonder if Red Bull back their driver because Max is their star driver, or they're just his yes man. Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe even in public they support him. And obviously you're going to support your driver in public. But like I say, it depends what goes on behind the scenes, really. I've seen a lot of Max fans complain about how Lewis pushed him slightly wide when he finally gave the position back. Slightly ironic after Brazil. Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that bad, and I think the stewards were probably. I would have given him the black and white flag. The stewards maybe went a little bit soft in that sense by saying, "Look, that's borderline." But I think I would have done the black and white flag for that one and given it a warning and just say, "Look, don't do that again. Just don't." I think. Shouldn't they do back him hard since he's extremely talented? Well, yeah, of course he is, and they want to keep him happy. They want to keep him in the team because he's a damn sight better than the other drivers they've put in that car. So they want to keep him happy. They want to keep him in the team. Lewis knows the pressure, but Max don't know there is pressure. That's why he crashed first time head to head to championship. Yeah, exactly. I said that earlier on in the stream. This is his first real championship fight, so. You can't expect it to be perfect in that sense, and it's the first time he's finding how himself he reacts to this sort of situation. I see nothing wrong in the last corner where Hamilton pushed Max wide. That's racing. I'm a Max fan. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't penalise it. I'd just sort of say, like, hey, look, you didn't need to do that. That was maybe just a bit harsh because he was letting you go anyway, sort of thing. If it was a normal overtake, I'd probably be a bit... I'd probably then... go more towards the steward's idea of borderline, but given he was literally being let past to push him off wide, I thought maybe that's why for me it was maybe a little bit harsh, and I would have given the black and white flag. But of course that's not a penalty, it doesn't make a big difference. It's just like me going slightly further down the scale than the FIA did in the end. Max will win, guys. I bet all in for Max. Super Max is good. I think that's a prediction. The thing for Max is that he has two possibilities to win. He could crash Lewis and himself and win it, or he could win and win. But Lewis has to win to win. Yes, I see what you mean. As confusing as that sentence is, I see what you mean. But if Max does crash into Lewis, I anticipate points deductions going his way. So that's why I don't think he'll do it. And if he does, he probably won't end up champion. And Red Bull will probably tell him, whatever you do, don't crash into Lewis. Because that's probably what will happen. The penalty-wise, I mean. Not that he'll probably crash into Lewis. You think he did that so he wouldn't try and instant pass? Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Max himself was trying to run wide to get a good slingshot on the exit, DRS and so on, yeah. But, equally, I don't think that's basis for if he's letting you go to push him off the track. You can push him a bit wide, but that was completely off the track. So that's why I'm literally I'm a little bit further to the across the scale on punishment than the FIA were millimeters, but I don't know. I'll just given it. No, that's fine. Hammer's within limits there. Haas will win or Ham. Haas win would be entertaining. But yeah, I'll head off of this and go back to the other screen. I've got the dual monitor set up today. I'm really happy with it. It's really nice. There we go. So, I suppose it's time in the stream where I say, hey guys, you know what would be really cool is if you could subscribe to the channel and we can do a subs push. Oh, yeah, you know what, we're not going to get to 1.4k, but let's try to get as close as possible to 1.4k so you never miss out on any F1 coverage. We've got a lot of content coming up through the off-season as well. I've got a lot of scripts written for Formula 1 content. We also have the community Discord server. I'm not ending the stream, by the way. I'm just talking through my plugs. So yeah, on the Discord server, it's in the top of the description. There's a great community of people in there. And as well, it is a great place to maybe watch some races as well and do watch-alongs with people. So yeah, I think you should do that, in my professional opinion. It's great to have more people in the Discord. So that's right in the top of the description, I believe. What do I think about the fact that Mercedes got a fine, so grid penalty with a yellow flag? I think it was fair because there were mitigating circumstances. It would have been really harsh to give a grid drop for that. Yeah, with the yellow flag offences, I think it would have been quite harsh. But what's the most views you've ever had during a live stream? Once, I write these down actually. I have a spreadsheet so I know sort of like what works and what doesn't work on streams. Our peak was 1,163 when we were awaiting the Verstappen signs and Bottas grid penalty outcomes in Brazil. It was Brazil. But the most views we've had in total over a stream was on the 5th. So last weekend, pre-race, we got 32,500. So there you go. I write all these down. See, look, I'm really professional. Because obviously I'm still pretty new to this. We've only been going for about 3 race weekends, so I'm still sort of experimenting what works with the streams, what brings in people, and what people enjoy about it. So actually, I should make like a feedback form. But what do you guys like about the streams? What keeps you coming? But yeah, Max will win if you review again the Jeddah circuit. That's a Merc track, but Supermax is so fast. It should be on pole on that race. Same also here in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, but the Mercedes did look to have a pace advantage during the actual race itself. Mercedes seemed to have it. So I don't know if Red Bull were a bit more set up for qualifying and low fuel running than they were in the race. I don't know. British accent. Thanks. I would have thought the 50k fine for Max would have been the most. No, I think the 50k one was a little bit shorter. What was that one actually? I'm not sure actually. Yeah, I think that was the 50k fine one for Max for touching the wing. I think it was that one. Because that was a Brazilian Grand Prix weekend, so I think it was that. Red Bull only fast in quali trim. Merc has faster race pace, therefore better time management. Lewis is behind. Yeah, that's what I sort of expected. Cheers, guys. Thanks for the stream, bud. Nice to hear from you too. Be in the stream again soon. Oh, brilliant, Johan. Thank you so much. That means the world. And like I say, I'm going to round off in just a moment's time. So, like I say, any last things you want to sort of talk about or anything, just chuck it in the chat, and we'll give it a quick discussion. Because, like I say, I have a commentary to do in not too long from now. So. Actually, if you guys want to watch the commentary, I don't think you do want to listen to more of me, but we do have, it's SRC, it's Team Shazoo on Twitch. I think it's Team Space Shazoo, I'm fairly sure it is. If you do fancy watching a little bit of F1 2021 racing action with me in the comments box, and you can see my beautiful face and my Christmas tree in the back of my room. Right, what else we've got? Sky F1, we're talking about Hamilton taking a new engine Abu Dhabi. Would it be a bad idea? It wouldn't be a great idea. But would they have the pace to work through the grid? We saw it in Brazil. So, depends how much risk they're willing to take. Preston trying to hype it up. I've been here for 2 streams, but it's chill here. No hardcore viewpoints or fanboys. Not as biased as other streams I've seen. More neutral. Yeah. Thank you, Tom, as well. Yeah, I do try to keep it as unbiased as possible. We do have a good set of admins as well who do a great job at stopping someone who's maybe being a little bit more aggressive in the comments. What do you think about the engine? About his engine, it's not that fast as in Brazil. It was pretty fast in Saudi. It was pretty fast. When you saw, especially in Sector 3, obviously you're getting an element of slipstream. But he was easily... Lewis was gaining 3-4 tenths down the straight. So that engine was still quick. I feel like it masked it because it was more spread out over the course of the lap and he wasn't having to work his way through the grid as much. But it was still quick. I remember seeing mid-race and just going, yeah, that's... It's definitely still got some life in it, that's for sure. You're pretty impartial, Max Lewis wise. It's no insanity in the comments, and you're very nice to listen to. Nice voice accent temp. Thank you. Thank you, Lily. Yeah, I do try to, like I say, keep it as impartial as possible, so... I know, and that's the thing, you know, I'm not really biased towards any of them anyway, so it's quite easy to do, just sort of try to analyse it and just say whatever I think of it. So yeah, it's good to hear, because I've never really thought of this. I'm like, what do people actually like about this? Because it's yeah, good to hear. None of my friends watch F1. Interacting in your stream feel good. Yeah, that's a good thing as well. Is it's a real good way to have live discussion with someone about F1 and people in the chat. It's yeah, it's pretty good. So Sven saying, may the best driver win. Enjoy Sunday, my dude. Yeah, absolutely. You too, Sven. You too. Hope you enjoy the race. Absolutely. So I've still got 5 minutes. So yeah, anyone have anything else you want to shout our way? Absolutely go for it. I've seen people calling for Max/Lewis's head after Saudi. It's a bit weird, honestly. Yeah, people have taken it a little bit too far. I think the diehards on either side, some of them have been a little bit rude online. I think we'll stop it there. A little bit rude. We're voting Kimi for driver of the day on Sunday so we can hear him in his last race. Yeah, absolutely. Hashtag Kimi for driver of the day, guys. Absolutely go for it. I haven't voted for driver of the day once this season, but go for it, guys. Go for it. Bwah. What's your thoughts on Lando once again losing out on things out of his control, Jeddah? It's depressing. I didn't enjoy it. Very much sad as a Lando fan. Big sad. See, that's the thing. I'll be impartial until Lando's up there. Then you'll really hear what. No, I'm kidding. Whenever there's an incident, I'll always analyse it as impartially as possible. So, what's my go-to Tesco meal deal? I don't really do Tesco meal deals. I know that makes me sound disgusting, but I don't know. I don't really. I tend to prepare in the morning and then just sort of snack through the day until dinner. I'm a uni student. That's what we live on. We just snack until dinner, basically. Predictions, Lewis, in my opinion, will win. Some of the memes that have come from it are golden. Yes, they are. There have been some brilliant memes coming out of the last couple of races. The reaction memes are top quality. Top quality. Lewis has won on every track on the F1 calendar, except the Dutch Grand Prix, but that's in F1. He won in F2. His game over, Lewis only has to watch out for dirty tricks, and hey, number 8. Well, when you put it like that, it sounds very easy, doesn't it? I'm kind of worried because, well, Abu Dhabi has a lot of runoffs, if you know what I mean. We're going to see Lewis and Max fighting right by the barriers in a runoff. Lewis has won on every track. Oh, yeah, just read out. I'm kind of worried as well. What if Perez takes out Lewis? I think it would at very least be Red Bull disqualified from the Constructors' Championship, and I don't know what they're doing in the Drivers' Championship. It would be probably a pretty big legal dispute that would go on for quite some time. So, yeah. I'm a Brit living in Holland. Got tickets to watch Grand Prix in the pub with my Dutch mates. Oof. Wait, do I have to ask which one you're supporting? I suppose that could be quite interesting. I highly doubt Checo would be willing to do something like this, though. He seems like a fairly fair driver. Yeah, that's what I don't think he would want to. Lewis brake like in Baku. It would be awesome for Max. What, turn on the brake magic button again? Right. Lewis. Ah, yes, Lewis. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna be in the pub with a bunch of Dutch fans. Good luck. I when I was at Silverstone this year, we had like a section of the Orange Army sitting in front of us, and It was. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh god, that was. Oh wow, that was pre-COVID. Wow, that was 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, closer, 2 and a bit. Wow, that was a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, we had a bit of the Orange Army in front of us there as well. And then there was this one that was going sit do at people standing in front, just asked them to sit down. But it was so funny. They were brilliant though. They were like taking pics with like some like the Lewis fans, kids and stuff. Not in a creepy way. And because they were in like full Dutch get up as well. It was pretty cool. Lewis Hamilton best, says Mainon. But yeah, I think I'll round off the stream now. So you guys have been absolutely brilliant tonight, and that is it for the Race Beacon midweek show. Thank you guys all for being here. There's been a lot of support for a midweek show with no breaking news, which I absolutely love to see. And yeah, like I said, it's absolutely great talking to you all, and I hope you all enjoy the weekend. We'll be going live definitely quite a lot more this weekend. Oh no, Shrek, you're missing the final. Oh no, because of exams. That's rough. Yeah, have a great day, Shrek. Have a great day. Max in a gunfight and he's only got a blunt knife. Did Max win in the rained off race? If he did, they're basically even on wins. Yeah, he did. Spa was a win, and that's why Max is 1 ahead on wins going into this race, meaning he wins on countback. But yes. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the stream. It means the absolute world. Hey, bro. Hello, Delshao. I've just come on and I'm... Delshai, sorry. I'm going off. So, hello, but goodbye. Lewis Hamilton, don't you know Black Magic? But yeah, like I say, guys, cheers so much. I've got to go do a commentary, so I'm going to cut the stream off here. I'm going to leave the chat open, like always, for an extra minute or two, just so you guys can just discuss between yourselves and say goodbye in the chat. See you, Diddley. Oh, yeah, peace out. Lewis Hamilton, go as well. There you go. All right, see you guys over the weekend. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. Good night.